So today I actually had a call off because I had a severe chemical reaction to this household typical bleach. Which, by the way, I'm a little bit surprised because it's the no splash formula, which means it's safe on clothes and should be safe on hands. Which means it creates a super slick feeling because it's basic. And it's the type of slick you find in like dirty oysters. But it was for a good reason. See, we just hired an African American pregnant 18-year-old over at Walmart, over at store number 5842. So naturally, well, there's a lot of workplace retaliation going on at this Walmart, and a lot of the managers just not giving a goddamn hoot. So, yes, I had to call off, I had to put in a claim, and this chemical reaction is severely killing my freaking ring fingers. I mean, it's eating alive at my fingertips. And what was sad about this is that this is stuff that's supposed to happen with this type of stuff, corrosive lye, which is from the soap making. Now, mind you, we are officially done making soap for the season. It's been a month. Okay, so all of our personal protective equipment is put away. Lo and behold, and learn, washing machine for the last few days before we move into our house over in Trenton. Fashion with a hurtful feeling is in the washing machine. Let me explain what happened. Oh my god, why do we have to bleach severely our jeans with no splash formula? Well, this going back to this 18-year-old native, probably considering it is Black Lives Matter still, a Sesame Street political issue if you didn't pay attention. But come this past Sunday, possibly Saturday, this 18-year-old African American pregnant girl had picked up frickin' bleach. It was bleach that had a broken seal on it. The next thing you know, she's like, "Ew, it's wet. Ew, it's this." I had touched it, picked it up, grabbed it, and I had not shaked my hands. Why, you ask? Why didn't you do the human nature of shaking your hands of the bleach? Because I actually was supposed to go into biochemistry for my first degree choice, and instead I chose computer programming and mathematics. So in the chemistry lab, we were taught not to do anything that could hurt us because not all PPE, personal protective equipment, can guarantee, it's no different than a condom, can guarantee protection. So we were taught to be very cautious in what we picked up that was considered chemical reactions, okay, aside from the dangerous stuff. Well, needless to say, what does this African American girl do? She goes, right on my freaking pants right here. It's a spot right here. So I had to bleach these to the 5th degree of bleaching, which is to have it soaked for 15 minutes in straight bleach. It wasn't working with the 50-50 ratio. 50-50 ratio, if you don't know, is 50% of water used to 50% of bleach. So it was kind of like a cancellation type ratio. When I found out it was just doing nothing more than a splash of foam imprinting, that's when I had to go and resort to this big, beautiful tub underneath the sink of bleaching. Now I call Walmart. Walmart's tendency policy is you get 4 points, you're out. Okay. Unfortunately for chemical dermatitis, you have to let the chemical reaction do its thing and finish it. It's no different than hydrochloric acid, which is why the 3-second gloves come into play, which is why we don't have hydrochloric acid in this luxurious basement of soap making and candle making. What we have in this basement is just typical household ammonia and household bleach. If I was a child and I had these type of burns, you know what kind of boo-hoos would come out of the little kid. It hurts, it burns, it hurts and burns. We're gonna get the ointment. It takes some time. This ointment is fantastic, and I'm gonna get to this visit. But you have to call Sedgwick, and Sedgwick is the one that determines your LOA, which is leave of absence. So I called Sedgwick today. I have a claim number, but I have to fulfill it out. And in the meantime, I have to fill out paperwork by the urgent care, because mind you, I am still looking for the perfect healthcare company attached to my career. Because why? Because KFC decided to do something in agreement with healthcare, no different than my salary paying job in agreement to healthcare. So for those of you that says, well, if you get healthcare, you're safe. That's another issue we had in Aruba. That's where the argument got really worse. But this hydrocortisone ointment came as a blessing in disguise because the last time I went through this, I had to take a steroid pill. This shit knocked my ass out for at least 12 hours. Luckily, I went down. You have to do this because once you have a chemical reaction, given the fact that Walmart is being accused of high arsenic poisoning, and to rule out the fact that I am not a spider, went to urgent care down in Lincoln Park. What was I told? This was like a flashback, complete flashback. This is why I'm sitting on the other side of Scientology saying that medical mishaps definitely do come back as a blessing. But this was funny. This was funny because this was the same injury, like repeat, that I had when I was a little kid. My sister remembers this and she says she's just being a drama queen. This hurts. When you have like holes, chemical burn, eating skin fleshy holes, you gotta let it sit. You can't touch anything. Believe it or not, you can actually get a skin infection. It's no different than ask me how I know. To keep it. Why is it so disgusting? Well, I went and Q-tipped the most dirtiest doorknob and put it on my freaking face when I had cold sores and stuff busted open. Which is where these beautiful pink luscious lips came from. Went to urgent care. What did they say? Yeah, the topical cream is not going to help. Okay, we're going to give you the steroid. Problem is that I actually know something about chemical burns. You don't take something for the whole body if it's just on fingertips. You take steroids orally if it's for the whole body. So let's say, for instance, I decided to be a little Martian and bleach myself along with my jeans. Okay, because why? Because fashion hurts. Fashion is a buddy. Fashion is full of statements. Well, this fashion hurt big time. So in order for me to get the oral treatment, you have to actually submerge your whole skin body in bleach, causing these little bad boys. It's an ugly little thing, and it creates the ugliest looking nightmares, horror. It is. And then when it gets all infected and stuff, considering that this Walmart over here in Southgate is the dirtiest Walmart ever, if you were to see the type of people that come in, you would say the same thing, which is why we're still wearing our mask. It is filthy and it's dirty. Okay. Now, I may not have a job with Walmart, but at the same time, this is also Black Lives Matter. Once again, Sesame Street, which means that if you find a job that is pro Black Lives Matter and you are pro anti-government at this point, okay, you have a right to take it off your resume. You have a right to keep it off your resume. What that means is that this job that you found has what they call a temporary hold on you. Because technically, I don't get my Walmart discount card for 6 months, which means that my healthcare probably wouldn't have been active because we went through this also. So yes, needless to say, second opinion was time. So I went, dropped my first visit, urgent care paper over at the Walmart. Guess what? My two managers were in. Did they care that I showed up with paperwork? No, not at all. In fact, it was almost like, get the fuck out because we want to get rid of you. So dropped off the paperwork. That's when they told me I had to call Sedwig. Called Sedwig. In between the second opinion visit, went over to this urgent care in Wyandotte. Now the doctor's making sense. Doctor looks at it. Okay. People, the practitioners are like, so on a scale of 1 to 10, what kind of pain are you in? I'm in a 3 pain as far as chemical reaction, corrosion, skin irritant, formation, which means it's stinging, it's burning, it's eating my flesh. You can tell. It hurts right at the fingertips. Like, owie. Like, owie. Like, truly owie. It hurts. It really does. It hurts. And if you see my other video, that's because, like, the coffee didn't kick in and my, like, need to care didn't kick in. When my need to care doesn't kick in, y'all, like, need to stand back because it's, like, a big, holy shit, like, epiphany moment. But here the doctor over here is saying, look, we don't need to go as far as biopsy because you know why? I actually know what's in this freaking chemical formula, which is why the doctor went and said, even if we did heavy metal screening, on just your little fingertips, it still wouldn't yield the result that you would be looking for. Damn. That means I should have hopped into the washing machine with my jeans, and this would have been better. So I should have had it all covered up from my knees up. You know, my calves have taken a beating as it is these past few weeks. We're not going to do that at all. So yes, the doctor would have said, look, take pictures twice a day of the reaction. If it doesn't get any better, come back in. Well, geez, that's exactly what a typical college chemist would say. Well, yeah, have you ever played with hydrochloric acid, maybe sulfuric acid? No, it doesn't hurt you, but you'll play with bleach, just like you'll play with little mercury balls, right? Well, your curiosity to play with acid is going to be the opposite when you play with the basics. It's like, I want to play with acid, but I know it's going to eat my flesh, so I will play with the other thing that's opposite of it. Well, I wasn't playing with bleach. I was trying to fix the mistake that this black bitch left in my jeans, which I had bought with hard work over Forever 21. They were my favorite Forever 21 jeans. These were my Bob Ross jeans. You ruined my freaking pants, bitch. Like, bring it on. I could not believe this. This is exactly why we have Sesame Street. This is exactly why we have these little, like, safety procedures. Safety procedure basics 101, basics 102, basics 103. We are now down at basics 101 with this bitch. Because if you're going to pick up something, the rule of thumb is don't shake your hands. You could get it on people. It's stated right in the lab instructions. At least it was for me. At least it was for me. I'm pretty sure y'all have it over at the prestigious college where if you get stuff on you, and then here's the lecture part, which you shouldn't if you know what you're doing, which is true. The seal cap had broke. Okay, the seal cap had broke on this bleach, which is the other formula, which means that it was instant bleaching on my jeans. So imagine had I bought that, how much time I would have had less on my fingertips versus this splash formula, which means that yes, everyone, the most basic formula along the chemistry scale is also an acid too. Which was the one argument I was trying to prove, which I had lost in chemistry class, because in order to prove that argument, you had to get 9 other people to dip their hand in bleach, and guess what was out of their mouth? Not doing it. That's stupid. Okay. So how do you go and write a procedure telling somebody that this is what happens when you touch this stuff, because it has happened before? Okay. So once again, which is why I'm not in that hostility, which is why I'm on this side of hostility. So yes, I have to actually wait until Sunday for all these little chemistry burns, these little chemistry 101 chemical reaction burns to heal. And it sucks. It absolutely sucks, because I have never seen such horrific horror of a Freud dream on my fingertips. Like, it is nasty. It is nasty. And yes, I actually had to wash my hands at least 6 times a day now to wash out whatever is sweating, and it's because my fingertips, you can actually see how it's dehydrated, literally dehydrated in this bleach. Like, gross. So that means it's actually breathing and sweating out this bleach ingestion that it did, in, like a little sponge, sucked up all that bleach. Then my hand and my body went and said, this ain't part of our chemical nature. It spit it right back out. Okay, no different than kids sipping apple juice and like, okay, like that's exactly what's going on. This is dehydration process of bleach. Cool, isn't it? But sick at the same time. So now I have exactly 3 days to find a job to replace the stupidity here at Southgate Walmart. Because why? Needless to say, people, there are no jobs here in Michigan. So if you get into one of these places, you are definitely on the Black Lives Matters fire list, unless you're part of the Black Lives Matters group. And it kind of sucks, because good girls that are trying to fix stupidity on their pants She did. She ruined these fucking pants. Do you know how much these pants were at full price? $34.99. Guess how much I bought these pants? 12. $12 with discount. 12. $12 with discount. And you had the nerve to fucking bleach my one good Bob Ross jeans. These were the jeans I could put on, walk into work, and be like, you know what? Shit's gonna happen. Shit's gonna be said. Gossip is gonna be spread. No fucking big deal. Just get in and punch out. But because of the fact that this can actually get seriously infected, this is why you take days off. The problem is that chemical reactions, also known as chemical dermatitis, it takes a little bit longer to heal. It does. It takes a little bit longer to heal. So we're stuck here. Unfortunately, we're stuck here, and I have to put on the topical ointment. But the doctor at this Why Not Urgent Care did say this. If it's localized burn, chemical burns, you put on the local ointment. But if it's all over the body, you have to take an oral pill, which is true. Okay? Which is absolutely true. Is it the same for like normal dermatitis? Who the fuck knows? But for chemical burns on fingertips, I pray to God it's only just an ointment. Because if it's a full-blown steroid, you could be knocked out for at least several days. Because that's potent stuff. And it's affecting body parts that didn't get affected by a chemical burn. This here knocked the hell out of what I was feeling in my fingertips. You don't want to feel this. It seriously is painful. And the only reason why I'm giggling and laughing about it, because I'm this type of chemist that I would be like, yeah, the gloves got eaten up. No big deal. So it's true. Had I had regular sterilite gloves, it would have disintegrated in the bleach. I have like no luck with freaking sterilite gloves at all. That's how well I know myself in the lab. Rubber gloves, I might have had a chance, but the problem was is that it's just typical household bleach, no splash formula, which means that the ratio of bleach is nothing compared to the other formula of bleach. So if I was a kid of 5 years old, I'd be crying and saying my pointy nails are ruined. And I would be crying and I would be thinking my whole life is over. But when Halloween came, I'd be like, I'm the scariest person ever. And then I'd go back crying again. But having skin eaten up like this would upset any person and give the worst freaking dreams ever. Not to mention, this bleach ate up my fucking fingernails like no other, like paper thin fingernails right now. Like, it's dehydrated to the max. Worst crap ever and worst bullshit ever. Holy crap. So that's why I had to freaking call off and make a claim. So we'll find out if I get it in the email. If I don't, I have to keep calling. And I'll quit on the third day if I don't get anything back. So, but I went to go see a second opinion and definitely different. Like, this seriously stopped the whole freaking boo-boo. I hope it doesn't scab over because that's ugliness. You ever had scabs? Not the greatest thing ever. Oh well.